Alright, hello, and welcome back to Final Fantasy 2, or 4 really, but it's called Part 2 on the Super Nintendo, okay? I'm not the one that made that title. Yeah. I didn't mind it at the time, you know. Yeah. I mean, as I was saying, true, I didn't mind it at the time in 1991, early into 1992. Because like everybody else in America, I didn't know that this was actually Part 4 and should have been titled accordingly. We only had the only other Final main series game we had was Part 1 on the NES. So, yeah. We didn't get Parts 2 and 3 also on NES. At least not until years later. So. Anyways, since last time, yeah, nearly 12 hours of grinding. Well, actually, more like just over 11 and a half, since a lot of that first video was story. But anyways, yeah, got up to level 20, which takes a long time to do around here. Plus, I did end up dozing off for some of that time as well. But anyways, as for money, I'd have a lot more of it than I have there, as you see in the bottom right corner. Except for I stocked up on a few items. Yeah. I like that you can do that. Save on inventory space a little bit. Alright. Now then, oh god dang it! Would you stop doing that? Have to be program has to be highlighted or don't work. Anyways, as I was gonna say, not that I need to be anywhere near level 20 this early in the game, but come on now. Again, anybody that's seen enough of my RPG should know by now I'm always way over leveled. Well, not always, but 99% of the time. If it's an RPG, count on the fact that I'm going to be over leveled. Expect it. 'Tis my way. Hey, some people like to be under leveled for the challenge. I like to be over leveled to avoid annoyance. Because what most people call quote unquote challenge is usually just jank bullshit. Spamming status ailments and insta-kill shit. Difficult for all the wrong reasons. Kind of thing. Okay. I don't know why, but for a second I thought that said Wintry Cave. I was going to say, what? This ain't Mystic Quest. I just finished that game. Alright, don't have any magic spells yet. And since they took out Cecil's dark attack, don't have any attacks that can multi-target all enemies on screen. Damn it. I still don't get why they took out Cecil's dark attack. I mean, again, you wouldn't want to use it every battle, especially if you're low leveled. You'd kill yourself if you used it enough, since it costs some of your own HP to use. All right. Well, I'm not gonna bother. Well, actually, you know what? Why not? I mean, I'm probably not going to get every treasure chest throughout the entire game, and some of them are just too far out of the way just for a few measly trinket and golds or something. You know. A few items like, oh, big deal. I'm not going to be getting that one. I guess it's over there. Okay, dang it. By the way, that's another thing I miss about the Pixel Remaster that I usually play this game on. The Pixel Remaster version of this game. The in-game maps. Yeah. Dang it. Not only the option of increasing by 4 the amount of gold and EXP you get from every single battle and boss fight, but the in-game maps. These were the days when not every game had them. I mean, these days, you know, most games just automatically have in-game maps, to some extent. But back in 1991, 92, well, obviously not. I mean, even the Game Boy original of Metroid 2, I mean, yeah, you could argue that was on Game Boy, but anyways. Of course, unlike the, what was that? Dang it, what system was that? The DS, I think? The 3D version of this game? I think that was the DS remake. That had that naming way thing where if you 100% the map, you get extra items. That could be nice, except for some of the later game floors of dungeons were quite, annoying. Especially with the encounter rate and the difficulty of enemies in some of those areas. Yeah. I still don't know why that wasn't included in the, at least as an option somewhere in the menus, as an option for a mechanic in the Pixel remasters, but yeah. Oh well. I missed one up there. Oh well. Again, just know that, again, I'm not going to be 100%ing the game. I never do. Again, some treasure chests are just too far out of the way and not enough content to make it worth the trip there to get them and back to, So, yeah. Like the one over there to my left, there will be treasure chests ignored. Are you threatening me? Or us? You'd better hope not. Yeah, I do actually. And again, I like how they're a little bit more discreet about what this package is. In most of the later remakes, they just flat out tell you within the name of the item what it is and what its purpose is going to be. Spoil it before you even get there. Yeah. Oh yeah, this boss. Okay. Actually, Kane's, excuse me, Dragoon jump. First time they had that in a game here. Again, granted, they had the Dragoon job class in part 3. Oh wow, I kicked its butt before it had a chance to do that. Okay, well, for those of you who aren't drastically over leveled, sooner or later that fight will go into a portion where he turns into a mist form, hence the name Mist Dragon. You're not supposed to attack him while doing that. The first time that they did that, at least in the main series, for the first boss, starting a streak, so to speak. I mean, this game had that. Part 5's first boss was that eagle, whatever, wing raptor bird. When its arms were closed and its wings were shut, you weren't supposed to attack or counterattack. In part 6, you had that whelk turtle. Don't attack it while its head is in its shell. And in part 7, you had that scorpion-like thing. Don't attack it while its tail is pointing at you. Yeah. 4 games in a row, the first boss had some gimmick to it, starting with this here. Granted, because of how over-leveled I am, I kicked its ass before I had a chance to go into that phase, but yeah. That can be kind of annoying at lower levels because, at least in my experience, it doesn't do that. You know, the dragon doesn't turn into mist, or the scorpion in Final Fantasy VII doesn't point its tail at you until after you've already chosen to attack that round. And it's then therefore unavoidable that you're going to do it. Then oh, you dirty son of a bitch game. You cheater. You dirty bad words. Yeah. Uh-huh. You did that on purpose, game. You dirty cheater. Can't see the... Lift that up a bit so I can see the counter. Village Mist, okay. Package opened automatically. They can do that? Okay. Okay, what's going on? Oh. Not good. Yeah. Again, most of the later remakes, this package, quote unquote, is just straight out title. It's just straight out called Bomb or Time Bomb, or, you know, like, oh really? Thanks for spoiling what we're going to be doing with this thing before we even leave the castle, before we even get there. Okay. I've heard of having a strong connection emotionally to your pets, but this is ridiculous. It died, so does she? What? Man, if that was the case, I would have died 10 years ago when my cat did. Yeah. Actually, 11 years ago. Damn, it's been that long already. Holy shit. Yeah, well, in our defense, I'd like to point out it attacked us. We had the right to defend ourselves. We didn't go looking for a fight, but we weren't going to back away from one either. So, yeah. Don't blame us. Blame your mother's dragon. It was the offender here, not us. We were just defending ourselves. Yeah, actually I do. A king that would order this doesn't deserve to live, much less be king. Oh, really? Okay, I guess I'm not the only one. How are we supposed to do that? Oh yeah, that part makes sense. Except for she's still back there. We can't get back into the castle. I mean, God damn it, I should have showed that early as I started this video. Should have actually shown that, but yeah. We can't get back into... Actually, no, I tried to... I did think I showed that at the end of the last video. They won't let us back in the castle until after we complete this mission, so... Yeah. Actually, now we can get back in the castle, I guess, now that we've done this. Go back there and kill that king. He shall pay for this. She's got other villagers here to look after her. What? I'm not gonna hit her. Get out of here. Just a little kid, man. Sorry, I don't go around hitting kids. Earthquake, huh? Except we're graphically goofed. The earthquake is in the path ahead of us. So how do we get through then? Should have been in the road behind us. Since it does kind of block our way. But anyways, little things I guess they never really thought of in animating that scene. Yeah, where did he go? What? Okay. Oh, sure you will, game. Now that I'm by myself. Seriously, where did Kane go? As if I don't know. Yeah. Still kind of ironic that I'm actually playing this game after how many years I spent insulting it on my videos, saying that the only good thing about the game was its soundtrack. You know, I mean, just watch any number of those early videos. How much I hated this game would almost be like a running gag. This and Twilight Princess both. Well, Twilight Princess still is. This game, yeah. I mean, again, to be fair, if Twilight Princess ever had any kind of major re-release, I might give it a shot, but otherwise, yeah. The reason I ended up hating that game so much is it was another linear-ass Zelda game, like all of the rest of them had been for, what, a half a decade? wanted a return to the open world roots of the first game, which we finally did have under the title of Breath of the Wild. And now that we've had our Breath of the Wild and sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, I could actually play Twilight Princess with a different mind frame and maybe actually like the game, but yeah. Anyways, as for this game, again, like I said in the introduction video, part of the reason, the largest part of the reason I hated this game for the longest time is because back then in 91, early into 92, I still had that habit of running from as many random battles as I could, and then regretting it later on when I'd get to late game areas drastically under-leveled. Yeah. This game was at the end of that idea. In fact, it was during that first playthrough of this game that I went back and played the original first game, getting up to the ice cave, remembering my first experiences there, and like, oh no, not going through that crap again. This time I'm going to grind. Damn it, I don't care if it does take a little longer. His Majesty's too dangerous to be left alive. How about that one? Ha! Fat chance, Buster. Oh, wow. Okay, this battle's going to be quite different. Did they really dumb this down that badly? I could have swore he took a lot more damage than that in the Pixel remaster at these same levels. Huh. Yeah, of course. Anyways, as I was saying, it's because of the Pixel remaster, that and realizing that my dislike of the game was largely due to my own mistakes of running all the time. Yeah. And if it wasn't for the Pixel remaster version of the game, I probably wouldn't be doing this playthrough right now. I'd be too busy insulting the game to want to replay it. Like, Final Fantasy IV? Are you kidding? You can't pay me enough to play that game. Yeah. Uh-huh. Rydia? Why does that name sound so Beetlejuice-like? Yeah. Anyways. So I got another party member now, sort of. Alright. There's the item shop for this town. Get out of my way! Oh, never mind. Alright. Wait a minute. Okay, maybe not. For a second I was going to say that graphic, that NPC sprite there below me almost looks like the sprite for Benjamin, the main character in Mystic Quest, but Not quite. Slight resemblance, but... Oh, yeah? Why? Huh. Yeah? And I'm supposed to care about this because... I mean, why are you... Never mind. Of course, the reason he's telling you that... Yeah, that's, well, at least my name. I mean, might not necessarily be me specifically, could be any Cecil, but... Oh. Hello. I guess she's not back in Baron Castle. Okay. Good. We don't have to worry about going back for her then. She's right here. Nice. Since... never mind. I'm right here, dude. Are you okay? What's going on here? Oh, great. Uh-huh. We need an item that's found in that cave. The other guy in the other building was just talking. Yeah, that's why he makes a point of mentioning that. Because we need to get in there to get this item for her. Yeah, otherwise you'd be like, huh, who cares? We have no need to go there. Well, now we do. Okay. The other part of that statement, get back to that building, get back to that character. The other part of that statement that potentially bugs me, or at least used to, where was he? Where was that guy? Over here. Only the Dimensian royalty. I have played the game before, and I do know who that is. Sorry if that came out a little too loud, microphone settings wise. But yeah, no, not him. Yeah. I can barely contain my excitement. Anyways, so we now have our destination, so to speak. Oh, that's right, they don't... Okay, they tell you who can equip it. But as usual in older games, they don't tell you if it's an upgrade or downgrade from what you already have. That's, again, that's one thing I miss, not just about the pixel remasters of these games, but even like the HD 2D remakes of Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. New remakes of older games. They actually tell you with either a green arrow for upgrade or a red arrow for downgrade, if it's statistically better than what you already have or worse, before you buy it. Wink, wink, wink. Save a lot of money that way. Unfortunately, they never thought of that back in the day, obviously. And don't tell me they couldn't have done that graphically. I mean, yes, the Super Nintendo was primitive, you know, tech specs wise, in contrast to a Switch 1 or a Switch 2, sure. But I'm sure even the Super Nintendo, technical-wise, had the RAM to animate some kind of notification, green arrow or red arrow. Wouldn't exactly have been a, yeah. Just designer, developer laziness. And yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but yeah. Spoiled by modern conveniences, okay? I mean, obviously, I can still play the originals of these games. I mean, Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the NES. Yeah. With the exception of the NES original Final Fantasy. That I will not do. No. If I ever play that game again, it'll be one of the other remakes. PSP, which I can't since I don't have that, or if I ever have a way of capturing Switch games, the Pixel Remaster. But not the NES original. No. A million times no. I'm nostalgic. You only have to look at the name of this channel, the games I've played, or go look at my music channel and the videos that are on it to see that. Rat, Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, yeah. Really nostalgic. It's even in the name for most of my channels, Greg's Retro, But even my nostalgia has its limits, and the NES original of the first Final Fantasy game crosses those limits big time. No. But anyways, any other games, original version, I could still play, but getting back to the original point here, I'm always thinking how much I miss things like this. No way of knowing if it's better or worse than what you already have, unless you actually take note of defense stat for armor and attack stat for a weapon, actually take note of what it's at already, equip that item, and then go back and look at it again to see if it's better or worse than it was before. And if it's worse, well, too bad, you already bought the item. Best you can do is get half of your money back selling it back. Yeah, you still lose half of the purchase price in the exchange though, so you're still jolly well screwed. Again, could have been easily avoided, like in the remakes of most of these games, with just a simple green arrow for upgrade or red arrow for downgrade. And again, don't tell me that they couldn't do that, even with Super Nintendo capabilities. Come on. Bullshit. They just didn't feel like it. Or maybe in their defense, the thought never entered their mind at that point. I don't know, since it isn't just this game, it's all of these old RPGs, so. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. We'll see you next time as we try to save Rosa. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.